All right, so in this follow along, what I want to do is get some practice with Markdown. There's a few ways that we can work with Markdown here. We could edit files in line. We could use github.dev. We could open up code spaces. But I just want to show you, a few things that we can do here. So maybe what I should do is go over to our new repo, GitHub examples, and we should try to utilize some of the abilities of creating stuff without opening up an editor, because I know the exam they might ask you that, and so I figured a little bit of practice with that would be good. So let's say we want to make a new folder here. What we can do is we go ahead and add a new file, and we will create a new file. And in order to create a new folder, all we got to do is type a /. I'm going to say Markdown here and put a /, and now we have a folder, and we now have ourselves a README file. Now I didn't mean to hit / there. I think it just happened prematurely, so I just hit backspace. I can type in MD, and notice right away that we can start writing Markdown. Okay, so we can go here and flip between them. They really want you to use Copilot. I do not care about Copilot. And I'll go ahead and just say Markdown examples. And what we'll do is we'll work through some here. So again, I'm just going to show you that you can commit this, but let's make a list of things that we should learn how to do. Headings. We should know how to do, and I'm already writing Markdown as a list. Headings, unordered lists. We should have ordered lists, formattings like text formatting, code, tables, auto links, lists. We could also have like images, links, images. Okay, so that's a pretty good list of things that we can learn how to do. And I think that's a good start. So let's say unordered lists. I'm going to go ahead and commit that change. So I just want to show that you can commit directly with files and update files here. And that's really, really nice. And you can see that stuff rendered in place. But I think what's going to make this a lot easier to work with is to use that github.dev now that I know about it. Before we used to just edit these or open up a cloud developer environment. What we can do is press a very special button called period. So if we press in period, what that's going to do is open up github.dev. You should really remember that because it will show up as an exam question. They might try to trick you by asking you about a comma, which is not a thing. I hit period, but it didn't do anything. I hit period again. And I think it had to like move or something there. And now it's going to open it up in github.dev. And so this is a great environment for us to learn Markdown because we can render things in real time very, very quickly. And then we don't have to have like a bunch of small commits and make a big mess. So here we have Markdown. I'll open up our README. And in the top right corner, there's this little icon. I know it's hard to see. I don't know if I can make it larger. There we go. It looks like this. I have no idea why it looks like a key, but if you click it, it splits the window. And we can see our Markdown. Okay, so let's go through and figure this out. So the first thing are headings. So this is a heading up here. This is a heading 1. If we can go, we do this. This is heading 1, and now we'll just do heading 2, headings. And I feel like we already kind of figured that out because we're doing that. So I'm not sure if we really need to have that as we know what headings are. So we'll say unordered lists, and we'll just say unordered lists. Yeah, we can create unordered lists in Markdown using hyphens. Okay. And while we're doing this, let's open up GitHub flavored Markdown because maybe there's some things that are there that might be interesting to take a look at. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this link. I'm going to dump it in. Remember that just auto links as soon as we paste it in here. And if we go here, we could see that there's a bunch of stuff. So there could be something for lists. I'm not seeing anything for lists. I can type in list here, lists, container blocks, lists. Notice they have a minus or a plus. So it looks like that breaks it up into separate ones. So we can give that a go. Let's just go ahead and copy these and take a look at what we get. So we do this, and that will treat this as 2 separate lists. I guess we can have pluses or minuses. Didn't know that. That's cool. Again, these are extensions to the regular one. And then we can have our unordered lists. Or sorry, ordered lists. Okay. So it's interesting that, you know, you can do 1, 2, and then have 3. But notice if you repeat 3 multiple times, it'll increment from there. And it starts from where it incremented. So I think that's really cool. You can also just have them all the same number if you want. So you don't have to really worry about that. But that's a nice way of splitting. Again, never knew that because I never bothered opening this up till now. So there's that. Let's go take a look at text formatting. So we have, let's say, bold. So if we are supposed to do italics first. So italics is going to be this. Okay. Scrolling down so we can see it. Bold. It's going to do that every single time, eh? Bold can be this. Doubles. And see how it like formats it as well, so you can kind of have an idea. You can also probably do bold with underscores, I think. Apparently it does italicize. I guess you can do one or the other, so I was kind of wrong, but I guess we could do it this or that way. Not all Markdown parsers do that, though. Some might treat underscores exclusively as a bold. So understand that. Let's try strike through. Strike through. We have to use doubles for some reason. There we go. Does Markdown give us anything, or GFM, does it give us anything fun? We'll go all the way to the top here. Characters and lines. I mean, apparently pays attention to tabs. That's cool. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but maybe there is something else there. Some inline stuff. So that's fine. We'll go to the next one. We have code. So for code here, we'll say code. What we'll want to have here is stuff like backticks. So we might say something as like puts hello Ruby. So that's how you print in Ruby. Hello world. Notice that it has this interesting formatting. So it's different from like whether we were to bold. So if we were to do the same thing, it wouldn't be really the same thing, right? If we did this in bold, that's great, but we'll take out the backticks. But like this is a lot better when you have something inline. So you can print to the terminal using the command. So that's really good when you want inline code. So say like inline code, multi-line code. So here I could do triple backticks. And we'll say without highlighting. With highlighting. Okay, so we'll say something like def hello world and puts hello world. I'll copy this. I'll bring this down here. We'll do RB. And so notice this one's highlighted and this one's not. So really try to do those highlights as you can. I think they say like what it's using underneath. So there's probably, I can't remember what it is, but they say in the documentation in the getting started, like what syntax highlighting program they're using. And so you can probably look up these codes, but for the most part, you can guess. I don't know if like I typed in Ruby, if that would still work as well. It looks to be the same. Yeah, it's the same. So Ruby or the extension. Okay, so there's that. We have tables. So we'll go down below here. I really don't like making tables, but we can try this here. We can use that text toolbar to make it really easy, but I'm not going to do that. So somewhere here should be tables, 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 tables. I'm just search tables. Here it is, extension. Okay. So some things are like clear extensions and other things are just like the settings they use as their default. So go down here, and so this is a basic table. Okay. You always use 3 for this. I'm not sure why, but it's always 3 and you have to follow this format. Here is something that looks like more about changing the alignment. So go here, make sure we're at the right levels here. So maybe you don't have to have that. So cells in one column don't need to match the length. Okay, so basically you can do whatever you want here. And does it stretch it more if we go more? No, it doesn't. So it's nice it's 1 or whatever, but standard Markdown would only have 3. So that's that's nice that you don't have to do exactly 3 every time. So that's piped content. Okay, that's fine. I see something a little bit more exotic. That's kind of interesting. So I think I'd make an empty cell in this case. I think I'm missing the one on the front here. That didn't render out. So despite it being in there, oh, you know, this one's missing. That's why. It's getting confused. And this one's missing. What if I take this one out? No, this one just does not render. So I'm not sure why they show that as an example, because that doesn't render. Oh, it will not be recognized. Okay. I thought for some reason it would be. Like it'd leave an empty space. Let's try this one. There we go. So we have an empty space in this case, but in this case it doesn't. So I guess you have to have the full length. And if there's one, like if you don't have the full length of one, then it won't work. Okay. Looks like we can just have a heading. Or is it a body? Yeah, just the heading. So I know there's more to it than that, but for whatever reason, that's what it's showing up there. We could take a look at block quotes. This is kind of interesting. I've never seen that much for block quotes before. Let's go block quote. Let's say when you're doing like a quote for somebody. Or like you're making like a note. So that's really interesting. Usually I would just do this like, the cloud is amazing, right? So you do that. But here we're actually getting some different levels here. I never knew you could do that. Let's try this. Block quote. Okay, this one is similar. Nothing super exciting there. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's go back to our top. We have block quotes. I can't spell block quotes. Do this here, block quotes. And I'll go all the way down to the bottom here, or back to the top. Images. We'll do images and links. This should really be over here. So something we could do is if we wanted to make a link, we could link, let's say we wanted to link this. I'm just going to copy this here, unordered lists. And we could put squares around it like this. Okay. And notice as soon as I hit pound, this is specific to GitHub, but it can link to the anchors that it sees on the page. So if I want to link to this unordered list, it'd be this, right? So this would map to that, which is really nice. So if I click that, it would jump to that part of the page, okay? You can also do relative links to other stuff. So if I had like a file in here, I'd just say secret.md. We say this secret page. Hopefully I spelt that right. Secret. Okay. That other one looks right to me. I can't really tell the difference. So, you know, like for links, I just want to link to that. So these links are going to become very useful here in a second. So say links. So let's try this again. Link. Do we not have a heading for this yet? So I'll go down here. Links. Go all the way back to the top. Links, and now I can just jump to that here on the right hand side. And so maybe we want to go to that secret page. So I'm going to do squares, parentheses, and this is going to be, this part is the text, I think, secret page. And so this goes to the secret page. So now what I can do is I could type in, trying to think how I do this relative. So now see how it's auto-completing? So if I do this, let's actually jump to that, right? So, and I don't think you need that. You probably do that as well. It would still go there. And so this is a great way to navigate around when you have a lot of pages. Again, this is specific to GitHub. So other things might not do that. We can just put a link out to anywhere here. So let's say we want to do something out to like github.com. We can say GitHub website, and we just type in https://github.com. If something looks like a link, it will turn it into a link. So that's really nice as well. It might be fun to try out that repo thing. Remember the link in auto links? So let's say we did issue 1. I wonder if it would render in here. It didn't, but you know, this might be contextual based on where it is. So this might only work in comments. And I actually think that in my my slide, that's actually what it says, is that that it only works in comments. So we might have to go test that out here in a moment. So is there anything else that we're missing? We didn't do images. Usually you drag images in here and then they'll populate. So I'll show that somewhere else, but we'll consider this our Markdown stuff here. We'll say Markdown examples. Okay. The other thing we didn't do was I think a list. So if I did this, I could say like item 1. I could put a space here. Just say task list. Double here and say item 1, item 2. I'm not sure if it'll work here. It's not rendering it. That doesn't mean it's not working. It just doesn't render here. And so we'll go ahead and just commit these changes. Make sure we get all of them. So I'm just going to add this, refresh, got them all in here, and we'll commit that. So let's go take a look at some of the other Markdown stuff that we're not going to see here. So what I want to do is go back to this repo. So there's a link here. I think Codespaces doesn't. I think last time I was looking for it, I couldn't find it. And so what we might want to do is look at an issue and play around with Markdown here. So we don't have any issues in this repo right now. So I'm going to make a new issue. And apparently we can link to pull requests and other things like that. So I might need to do a little bit more than just what we're doing here. But anyway, I'll just say GitHub fun, or Markdown fun. Learning how to use Markdown. And so what we could do here is make a list. So let's try the / because that's something they want us to know. And I mean, we could use this for a few different things. Adds a detail section to hide and show stuff. So that's kind of cool. It dropped that in there. And we could just say my to-do list. Apparently it has a summary. It didn't tell us that before. And go here, we see we have this nice drop down. I don't know if we need this interior P, but what I want to do is make a list. I could try doing / to see what else we have here. Nothing really interesting. You can insert issue templates. That's kind of cool right there. We'll look at that later. But let's try to do this to-do list because that's what I'm really interested in. So I'll just say, we'll say lists and headings. It's a little bit small. I'll bump it up. I'm sorry. Headings and bold and italics. And we'll go ahead and submit that issue. Let's expand that. Notice that these are now, we can sort and move this around and we can check these things off. It's probably possible for us to link issues to other issues. So I'm going to try to make another issue. Again, I don't know if this will work, but I'll try it. Actually, before we do that, let's do it over here. So let's say we want to do headings. This used to be on the left-hand side. Now they have it on the right, whatever. We'll click that and it should make a new issue. Okay, so we do that and now it's being tracked, I guess. So if we go over here, let's see what happens if we close it. Say, this is, well, maybe we can reference that one. This references this one here. Notice that we have a link there. For the repo, I'm going to try this, Andrew W.C. Brown, and we'll say GitHub. I'm going to try to write it exactly the same here, GitHub examples, because they said that would link. It didn't copyright. We'll try that one more time. So do that again. It really does not want to listen here. We'll try this again. GitHub examples. So I want to see what we're getting here. So this isn't linking how I was hoping it would. I mean, it says in the docs you can, so I'm not making things up here. We'll just comment on that. Okay, that didn't hyperlink. Interesting. Let's go take a look at that. Auto links. GitHub. Okay. This might have been in like GFM getting started. I have to kind of remember where that is. GitHub. And we'll go to this here. And I'm looking for where that could be. No, not this one. Like they had like a getting started for GitHub flavored Markdown. Here it probably is. There we go. And so in here, they should have things for like auto links. I'm gonna grab this so we don't have to find it later on. I'm just gonna modify the file so I have it. Go back over to our examples here and into our Markdown. And I'm just gonna go ahead and edit this file in line because I'm only making one line change. You could do a lot from just here, but again, it's a lot more efficient to use github.dev. Anyway, coming back over to here, I'm looking for those auto links. Links. Auto links. Anyway, I know that they're there because I took screenshots and wherever it was, it's somewhere, okay? Maybe it's like advanced formatting. That's probably what it might have been. Code blocks, auto linked references. Okay, here we go. So in here, we should be able to link the repo. Reference type. Unless I didn't understand it. Over here. Oh, maybe we got to put an issue afterwards. Okay, so maybe we just can't link the repo by itself. We're saying a very specific repo. So I guess that is a minor mistake on my part. Let's go back to our issues. Okay. Good thing we always double, triple check things. If I go back to this, then maybe I do pound and then 4 on this. Would that work? There we go. Okay, and then it shortens it, and then we can see our to-do list here. Can we check off from here? That'd be cool if we could. No, but let's close this issue because what I want to see is, does that close that thing out? So we go over here and look, it says 1 of 4 tasks completed, which is really cool. So the question is, if we were to check off all these things, would this all be done? This one, this one, this one. There we go. Okay. So that's pretty interesting. There's a lot of little markdown things that we can do, but I think that is sufficient, and we have a good idea how to work with Markdown. Documentation is its own little skill, so getting as much practice as you can is really great, but I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.